Hi Aries, welcome to your love reading for February 2019. This is Elizabeth from channeledguidance.com and you're watching YouTube channel Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so I've already shuffled the decks for you and you did have one jumping card. Let me show you what it is. The card that jumped for you, and it jumped right away, is the Five of Wands. So when this card jumped, I did hear the words "they were warned," because as most of you know, I mean, this channel is called Channeled Guidance, so I am clairaudient. I can hear spirit. I heard the words "they were warned." So it could be, I mean, this is a general reading, so it's hard to say what that means for you. Some of you could have been warned maybe that there's going to be strong differences. This is a card of clashing egos, problems, arguing, pettiness. It can even be a card of competition. Maybe you were warned that someone, maybe your partner was maybe kind of flirting with someone else, or maybe you were warned that there was going to be issues with a partner. Maybe you were very different. I just heard the words "they were warned." But the Five of Wands does represent perhaps conflict, pettiness, arguments, but it can also just mean that you're very different people. So let's put that back in the deck. That was just a jumping card. And let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so let's start with this deck here. You can see my kind of moonstone little sphere that I have here. Helps with intuition. Okay, this is a love reading for the sign of Aries for February 2019. Your first card, Aries, is the Nine of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Aries for February. Queen of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Aries for February. Four of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Aries for February. The Hermit. Love reading for the sign of Aries for February. King of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Aries for February. Strength. Love reading for the sign of Aries for February. Eight of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Aries for February. The Lovers. Love reading for the sign of Aries for February. Knight of Wands. What's the most important thing that Aries needs to hear about their love life for February 2019? The card that you have, Aries, is the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles does represent emotional poverty, which is kind of interesting because you had the Five of Wands jump at the beginning of the reading, and now you have the Five of Pentacles as the strongest energy. This can mean that you're struggling. This is a card of emotional poverty, or just really feeling emotionally shut out. Maybe you don't understand why a partner has abandoned you, why they're maybe have shut you out emotionally. We'll come back to this to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. Also, Aries, if you would like to get a private reading with me, just go to my website, channeledguidance.com. I'll put a link to it down below. Also a link to my Facebook. And again, you're watching this on YouTube channel, Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so let's see what all of this means for you. Let's start with the first row, and we will work our way down. You have the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Four of Wands. So the Nine of Swords is telling me that there's a lot of anxiety around you. There is a lot of worry. It could be that you're stressing that you're not going to be able to have this. Some of you may be stressing that you're not going to have that committed relationship, that long-term relationship that you were hoping for. Remember, the main energy is feeling really emotionally shut out and kind of just suffering. You feel like somebody has slammed the door in your face. You could also be very worried about the relationship that has ended. Again, you want that Four of Wands, which is either marriage or just some sense of stability. This can be with someone who is an air sign, because you have the Queen of Swords, which would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. But sometimes when we have the King or the Queen next to a Swords card, it can even represent you. That's the energy that you're in. You're doing a lot of thinking. The King and the Queen of Swords, they analyze everything. And sometimes they're even out of touch with their own emotions because there's so much in their head. They're really overthinking things. Also, especially the Queen of Swords can represent a woman alone, a woman who has been hurt. Definitely tying in with the main energy here, and tying in with the Nine of Swords. A lot of agonizing, a lot of stress over a marriage or a long-term relationship. Now in the second row, you are front and center, the King of Wands, whether you're male or female. This is a fire sign, Aries. It can even represent your partner if they're also a fire sign. You know, you have two major arcanas around you, so I feel like that's really significant. The major arcanas, these are strong energies. These are things you can't avoid, even if you want to. So one thing you can't avoid is that patience. You have to be patient with the Strength card. You also have to watch your ego. I feel like this is what you need to watch out for. I feel like there's something that could happen in the month of February where Aries could really be, you could feel really kind of, I don't know, tested. I feel like there could be a lot of nervous energy around you. You might also kind of feel aggressive. The Strength card means you have to watch your ego, your inner beast. You might feel really angry and want to lash out at someone, maybe because someone has hurt you, someone has, you know, turned their back on you. You're being told to be patient with the Strength card. Watch your ego, whether it's, you know, you getting very aggressive, getting very angry, wanting to lash out, or maybe just watch your ego where you're just, you know, giving into fear. You have the Hermit here, so I mean, the Hermit does mean there's a lot of thinking to do. This is the energy of a lot of soul searching. I mean, this can be you. I mean, it's hard to say in a general reading, but it can be that there's a lot of thinking that needs to happen. Maybe you need to really think about a relationship that's bringing you a lot of stress. Perhaps the person that, you know, kind of slammed the door in your face is doing a lot of thinking about what they really want as well. Maybe that's why you're being told to be patient here. The Hermit does represent solitude. In some decks it's called solitude, and it means that someone just needs some space to see the truth, to figure out what they really want. That could be creating a lot of anxiety for you there with the Nine of Swords. I just feel like something has you really nervous, and really kind of, you know, you're in a sense of agony in the month of February. And you may be fearing somebody that has asked for some space, or you could be fearing a relationship. You may feel like you're not going to get the commitment that you want. So down here you have the Eight of Wands, the Lovers, and the Knight of Wands. So I mean, what I see here, I feel like there's a relationship that either that you're in. This could be your spouse if you're married, or there's just a relationship that you really want. When I see this particular card from this deck, it just feels like, you know, you really feel like you belong together. I feel like there's going to be a change. You've got change here and change here. There's going to be a change around a very significant relationship. And it could be for those who are married, that obviously this is your marriage. But for those of you where maybe, you know, you're with somebody and maybe somebody has asked for some space. Maybe you're very worried. I mean, you start with the Nine of Swords. You're agonizing. You're suffering. There's going to be change around the significant relationship. The Eight of Wands is telling me that this change that's coming to you, it's going to take you by surprise. And it could be that this person maybe just needed some space, some time to think. That's why you're being told to be patient here with the Strength card. Don't lash out. With the Knight of Wands here, I mean, Aries is usually a pretty assertive sign. You're usually very strong. The Knight of Wands is kind of calling on that energy. The Knight of Wands, this is someone who's very self-confident. This is someone who is not ever going to back off. They're never going to let go until they get what they want. They have their eye on the prize and they will never give up. So it could be that you have to really kind of, I mean, seeing strength lined up with the Knight of Wands. All of this leads to the Four of Wands, which is a marriage card or a commitment, that you really have to hang in there with a partner where you're feeling really stressed for some reason. Feeling really stressed and you really feel like maybe you're losing them, you know, you're suffering the main energy here. Just keep in mind that there is change. There's literally change surrounding a very special relationship. It could be your marriage or just someone that you really love, someone you really want to have that connection with. Okay, let me get a few more cards so we can see the rest of the message. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for February? You have the Devil. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for February? Seven of Wands. I was going to say Page of Swords. Seven of Wands. What other messages are there for Aries for February? And the King of Swords. So pretty interesting that you have the Queen and the King of Swords. So, I mean, if you have a partner who is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, and this is definitely speaking to you, and it could be that you really need to confront some negativity here, because you do have the Devil, which could represent all sorts of things from jealousy to abuse to cheating, negative behavior patterns that you need to confront. The Seven of Wands, you need to speak up. So for those of you where you have someone who is an air sign, that could apply to you. But let's go back. If there is no air sign, it's not you and it's not your partner, again, the King, and there's just strong air energy around you, which means you're going to be doing a lot of thinking, and we already knew that because the Nine of Swords is the first card. So I feel like just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. The month of February, you're going to be analyzing everything with the King and the Queen of Swords here. It would be better for you to get in touch with your own feelings, your own intuition, than kind of going off on, you know, just thinking and thinking and thinking, what are they doing? Why are they not calling? Why are they acting this way? You have some, you know, kind of challenging energy here. You have the Devil, which, like I said, this can represent anything from jealousy to just negative thinking. And it can be that that's the message for most of you. Just kind of looking at, you know, the cards that came out with it, it kind of reads like a story. There can be some strong pessimism, especially with the Nine of Swords being the very first card. You might be really feeling just really pessimistic about a relationship or your love life. You might even feel like giving up. The Devil is just kind of negativity, and you're just kind of in a dark place. You may have to really confront your own ego here, which definitely makes sense with the card that's ironically right next to it, the Strength card. Again, this is you taming that inner beast, your ego, the part of you that immediately kind of, you know, comes up with something negative. The part of you that is agonizing, the part of you that is terrified and worried. You may have to really confront your ego. There's some strong negativity. You may be feeling really negative in the month of February, and it definitely makes sense with the King of Swords popping up here. You're too much in your head in the month of February. You're overanalyzing everything, and you could even be really overanalyzing a partner. You might think that they're cheating. That whole message that I heard when the Five of Wands jumped for you, they were warned. Maybe somebody told you a partner is cheating and it's not true. Again, rely on your own intuition. I just see change. I see change here around a significant relationship, so just keep that in mind. Okay, let me get a few more cards for you from the confirmation deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for February? You have the Ten of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for February? Ace of Cups. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for February and the world? What's the most important message that Aries needs to hear about their love life for February 2019? The Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is telling you do your homework. This is saying look at everything very carefully, especially when you have things like the Nine of Swords and the Devil, and even the Strength card and the Seven of Wands. This is saying look at things very carefully. So I mean, if you're feeling really negative and you're agonizing over a partner, explore that. Why is it that you're feeling that? Is it something that you've actually seen with your own eyes, or are you just fearing the worst? Because again, the first card's always really significant. What I see here is actually really positive. You've got the Ten of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, and the World. So the Ten of Pentacles, this is a relationship, this is stability, this can even represent marriage. And you know, you have a new beginning and an ending. I mean, the World is a really positive card of new cycles. So it could be that the month of February is giving you a chance to start over. Whether, you know, you're starting over with a new partner, or you're starting over in a relationship where there's been a lot of suffering, where, you know, one or both of you has slammed the door in the other's face, and is really, maybe you've really shut somebody out emotionally, or maybe both of you have done it. The Ten of Pentacles is just stability, and the Ace of Pentacles, sorry, the Ace of Cups, this is a new beginning in your relationship, a new cycle with the World. This is positive. It's, yes, it's an ending, but it's an ending that leads to a new beginning. It's just time for a new cycle in your love life, and it's bringing in, with that ending, this is bringing in a beautiful new beginning from the Ace of Cups. Again, for those who are single, this can even be that, you know, there is a new love coming into your life. If you're leaving a relationship, the World would be You know, that ending of one relationship leads to the beginning of another. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the X spread using this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, so let me just get these out of the way. And as always, the X spread can be an ex that maybe you had a committed relationship, but it can even be someone that you were just really attracted to, or someone you went out with, someone who showed interest in you, all those things, and you just want to know, is there a chance that we can reconnect? Here it is. Show me the energies around Aries and their ex. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Show me the energies around Aries and their ex. Ace of Pentacles. Show me the energies around Aries and their ex. The Three of Pentacles. Show me the energies around Aries and their ex. The Ace of Wands. Show me the energies around Aries and their ex. The Nine of Pentacles. Show me the energies around Aries and their ex. The Ace of Swords. Okay, so let's look at these. You don't have any repeat cards, at least not that I'm aware of. So let's see what you have going on here. And again, this is a spread for those of you where you are no longer together, you broke up. The timing does not matter, whether it's been days, weeks, months, or years. Now, it's interesting because, again, we're looking at a relationship that's over, but if you look at the reading, you've got 3 new beginnings. You've got the Ace of Wands here, the Ace of Pentacles there, the Ace of Swords there. So that's pretty encouraging for you. There's a strong, very strong energy of new beginnings. The only one you're missing is the Ace of Cups. Otherwise, you'd have them all. So it seems like there's a strong possibility of you getting your ex back. Again, 3 new beginnings. That's pretty eye-opening. You just have to be patient. You have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is slow progress. You're slowly moving towards reconciling. You're slowly moving towards working things out. That's probably why you had the Strength card in the first spread that I did for you. Patience. Don't get too frustrated. Don't get angry. Don't lash out. There's slow progress being made. You know, and you have, you know, that the Ace of Pentacles next to the Knight, it does represent a new beginning, but it's a very unexpected new beginning. So just kind of keep an open mind about how things are going to work out, how you're going to get back together, because it may not be the way that you're thinking. You may think, you know, we'll get back together before Valentine's, and it could happen, but for some of you, it could be that it's going to take time. It's not just going to take time, it's going to take effort. You have the Three of Pentacles right next to it. So the Three of Pentacles is saying that it's going to take effort and then some. This is, you know, a message of teamwork and effort. You both have to try, and you both have to try really hard. But it is very encouraging that you have 3 new beginnings. Now, you have the Ace of Wands here. So the Ace of Wands is saying, yes, there can be a new beginning for you and for your ex, but this is a clean slate. So for some of you, I mean, you did have the World in the first spread, and the World does represent closure. So maybe there's something that needs to be healed from, you know, what happened when you broke up, whether, you know, someone was cheating or there was just so many problems. There has to be a clean slate here. But this is a fresh start for you. Everything is forgiven and forgotten, but there's also the need to heal. That's another message I'm getting from this. There is definitely a new beginning around you and your ex, but let's just jump over here. There has to be a new perspective. So it can't be the same relationship that it was before, especially if you look back and you think, yeah, there were a lot of problems. You know, there was a lot of fighting, or there was cheating or whatever. Somebody has to kind of change the way that they're looking at the relationship, and it could be both of you. The Ace of Swords does represent a new way of looking at things. It could even be for some of you that time away from you maybe has given your ex a new perspective on you, because you do have this Nine of Pentacles in the middle. And the Nine of Pentacles does represent personal growth, and it represents self-worth, integrity, feeling good about yourself. So, I mean, when I said that, I feel like for some of you, there's a huge possibility here. I mean, again, 3 new beginnings. That's pretty eye-opening. I feel like for most of you, you can get your ex back. You can. The question is, do you want to? Is it good for you? The Nine of Pentacles, is it good for you? How will it make you feel if you take them back? Again, especially if there was something pretty, you know, kind of negative that happened when, you know, when you were together, depending on why you broke up. the Knight of Pentacles is just kind of saying that there has to be, you have to feel good about your decision. And remember that you had this in the first spread. You had the Devil. So, I mean, there could have been something very negative, something very hurtful that happened between you. The Knight of Pentacles is just saying, put yourself first. Yes, you can definitely get this person back, but maybe they need a different perspective with the Ace of Swords. Maybe they need to maybe they need to kind of wipe the slate clean. Maybe they need to be honest. But I mean, do I see you getting back together? I mean, I feel like you definitely can. Kind of slow progress, a lot of effort with the Three of Pentacles, but I feel like it can definitely happen. Let me get one more for you. What final message is there for the sign of Aries and their ex, February 2019? Wow, Justice. So Justice, to me, this represents usually an apology. So, I mean, need I say more? The Devil. If this person, you know, literally was the devil to you, strong negativity, negative patterns, maybe negative behavior patterns, really toxic relationship, there could be an apology coming to you. This person could be trying to make things up to you. That's why maybe you have the strong energy of new beginnings, but you also have the Nine of Pentacles saying what's good for you. You really have to consider that. And it could be that there's going to be slow progress in healing the relationship. That's another thing that I'm getting, is that it may happen quickly. For some of you, it could just be slow progress and really working on this relationship and really kind of getting back on track. But I do see some of you here definitely getting an apology, or your ex really trying to win you back. Okay, Aries, this has been your love reading for February 2019. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.